Dallas versus Austin, which city is the better real estate investment in 2025? There are pros and cons to each, and it will largely depend on your own financial situation. So let's break it down. First, let's give an overview of market growth and property values for both cities. Austin has been making national headlines for years thanks to its booming tech scene and the influx of big-name companies like Tesla, Oracle, and Apple. People love the quirky culture, live music, and beautiful outdoor spaces. But here's the catch. Austin's real estate market has skyrocketed so quickly that it's become one of the most expensive markets in Texas. The median home price in Austin has hit almost $600,000. And while that sounds like a great sign of growth, it also means that the barrier to entry for investors is really high. For people just starting to invest in real estate, Austin might be a tough one to break into. But for the investor who is sitting on a decent amount of capital, this may be just the time to jump in. All across Texas, and especially in Austin, we have been seeing price and rent decline for the first time in a decade. We believe in the fundamentals of the Austin market, which we'll get more into in a bit. So this should definitely be seen as a small window of opportunity to jump in before prices return to their normal upward trajectory. Now let's talk about Dallas. The Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex is the fastest growing metropolitan area in the U.S. Unlike Austin, Dallas has a much more diversified economy with industries in finance, healthcare, logistics, energy, and tech. However, it doesn't have the hype or the unique cultural feel that Austin does. The median home price in Dallas is right around $400K, making it much more affordable than Austin. Also, Dallas doesn't just rely on one or two industries to keep it booming. The solid job market tends to attract people more steadily than boomtowns, which makes it a less emotional roller coaster when investing. Since we mentioned jobs, let's do a bit more of a deep dive into the job markets of each city. The job market is a huge factor in deciding where to invest, since it often makes or breaks the real estate of a city. Austin is heavily reliant on the tech industry. That's great for growth, but it's also risky. If the tech sector hits a rough patch, Austin could feel the pain. However, with everything Elon Musk is doing in and around Austin, we think you're pretty much guaranteed to make a lot of money if you buy in the right neighborhoods. In contrast, Dallas has a more stable and diverse job market. You've got Fortune 500 companies like AT&T, ExxonMobil, and American Airlines headquartered here. Plus, DFW Airport is one of the busiest airports in the world, making Dallas a major logistics hub. Another thing to think about is the age of each city. Dallas is a more established city where Austin has only recently begun transforming from a college town to a tech hub. Because of this, Dallas has more infrastructure in place to accommodate new residents that Austin doesn't. If you talk to anyone living in Austin right now, they will say it's never-ending construction on roads, homes, and more. And this is basic economics. What happens when supply is constrained? Price goes up, assuming demand remains the same. This is what we're seeing in Austin, and the reason it's so much more expensive than Dallas. Now let's talk about the cost of investing in each area. Like we said, Austin's home prices have skyrocketed. It's becoming more like a West Coast city in terms of pricing, which means far less cash flow for investors. If you're buying a rental property in Austin, your ROI is going to be lower because home prices are so high. And that's before we even talk about property taxes, which are high across all of Texas. Your internal rate of return, often called your IRR, and basically means your entire return on investment after all expenses and all profit is accounted for, will likely be extremely high due to fast appreciating homes. But it won't feel like it because you won't be cash flowing much or at all. In contrast, Dallas is much more affordable across the board, not just in home prices, but in things like groceries, utilities, and entertainment. Regarding cash flow, it's slightly better than Austin. It's still hard to find cash flowing properties in the current market, but it is definitely more of a cash flow market than Austin. If you view cash flow versus appreciation on a spectrum, cash flow on the left and appreciation on the right, then Dallas would be center right and Austin would be about 90% to the right. Again, this means Dallas is going to be a little safer investment because you're making more money in the short term, which can offset unexpected expenses. Now we need to ask the question, what attracts tenants other than jobs? Austin is known for its artistic, outdoors, comedy, and other entertainment scenes. In a good way, it's the party city of Texas. If you love live music, hiking, comedy shows, and food trucks, Austin is for sure the place to be. This attracts a lot of young people. So add that to the tech hub nature of the city, along with the University of Texas, and you can imagine that it will attract new residents for a long time to come. Dallas, on the other hand, offers more of a big city feel to people. It's got world-class restaurants, sports teams, museums, and entertainment districts. Plus, Dallas is more diverse, both in terms of culture and population. But to be frank, the job market is the single greatest pull for new residents, and it's also the most reliable indicator of market growth over long periods. In terms of tenant type, Both cities are attracting young people. The average age in Dallas is 33, while the average age in Austin is 34. However, Dallas is going to have a greater population of international tenants. Austin will typically have a concentration of higher earners due to the cost of living and the nature of tech jobs. The average household income in Dallas is around $60,000, whereas $80,000 in Austin. Okay, we're going to gather all this data to make final recommendations. And we at Goal Line Real Estate are not trained CPAs, so we are not here to give you financial advice. This is just what we would do ourselves. At the end of the day, the decision is up to you. One thing we've got to mention is the risk of Austin. We don't actually believe it's risky to invest in Austin, but we say risky for a few reasons. One, the fluctuation in the market has been greater than any other city in Texas. Soaring pricing and more severe corrections. Second, you have less cash flow, so if you're a new investor with less capital, we highly recommend Dallas over Austin. You get some of the same appreciation while at the same time maintaining some semblance of cash flow. However, if you're an experienced investor and can sacrifice making negative cash flow in the short term, we actually believe you can make more money in Austin than Dallas. So then you may be wondering what Dallas has to offer. We think Dallas is a city with great investing fundamentals, a strong job market, construction that's keeping up with demand, minimal extreme weather compared to many of these coastal cities, and the DFW airport making it one of the most highly trafficked cities in the world. Because there is so much land in DFW, prices won't skyrocket to the same degree as in Austin. This may seem like a bad thing to investors, but stability is always better in the long term, as tenants would get priced out of the market and leave the area if prices rose too fast. So here's the final verdict. If you're an experienced investor with more than 5 properties and a good deal of cash flow, Austin is probably the better option. But if you're buying your first or second rental property and need stability while retaining solid earning potential, Dallas is the clear winner. And don't forget that down payment is going to be a lot smaller on a Dallas home compared to an Austin one. So, new investors, steer clear of Austin unless you live there. If you do, buy a house to live in and rent out the rooms. For seasoned investors, both are good options, but if you're looking purely at the highest possible IRR, Austin might be your pick. But we also want to hear from you. Do you agree or disagree with our assessment? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you're thinking about investing in either city, reach out to us. We'd love to help you navigate the Texas real estate market. Thanks for watching, and please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more real estate insights.